Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be trying out this very meta team. This team was, at least I got the idea first from HouseStark, who's been on an absolute tear in Go Battle League. He should be hitting rank 10 by the time I post this video. Like, I'm recording this video on March 16th and it's going to be posted on the 17th. So it consists of Toxicroak, Registeel, and a Azumarill with Ice Beam and Hydro Pump. So I end up in a negative lead, so I'm going to immediately switch into a Azumarill, and then gonna see what he's gonna do. Looks like he's staying in, which is totally fine by me. And here goes the Sky Attack, and I am gonna go hit the Hydro Pump, and then either gonna burn both shields, or let's see. Technically, I don't know if I could survive that. Probably not. Probably get fainted down before I got to the... It'd be really close. So I don't want to take the risk. Plus, I don't mind if he burns his energy. And as well stalls out the clock a little bit more, which allows me to freely come out with Registeel and like lock on farm. And he comes with Toxicroak. I could have Focus Blast that Toxicroak, but I kind of need as much health on Registeel as possible. Plus, the Focus Blast wouldn't KO, so I'm gonna overfarm a little bit, so that way I can do some damage to whatever they bring in next. If they bring the Skarmory back in, that's totally fine. And they actually bring in Mew, so I'm just gonna go for the Sludge Bomb since I'm gonna get KO'd by whatever charge move anyways. And I let this go, and it ends up being a Rock Slide. And then, even though I could realistically farm out this Mew, I do not want to get hit by an Overheat. That's like basically my losing condition. Like, to be able to beat the Skarmory is pretty straightforward. Like, I don't really need to do too much. I could even, not sure if I could Flash Cannon at this range. Probably. It would be pretty close. Let's see, Registeel, Skarmory. Flash Cannon would do just over a quarter, so it wouldn't KO. Like, it would have to be into the red. Yeah, 31 of 120. Okay, all right, we're gonna go into this next battle, and I run into another bad lead, so I'm gonna immediately switch out into a Azumarill. And they counter into Registeel, which is not bad for me. I'm going to go for this Hydro Pump. I'm going to not shield this Flash Cannon. My idea is I want to get this Registeel either burn shields, get it low enough so I can Sledge Bomb the Dragonite. And then I should be able to survive this next Flash Cannon. But it's going to be very close. And I'm just going to barely be able to get off this Hydro Pump. If they shield again, I'm going to switch out. I tried to switch out, but the switch failed, which is fine. It has a lot of energy now, about 75 energy, enough for a Focus Blast. So they go Flash Cannon, and they switch out into Dragonite, and then I switch out into Registeel. So I have a second counter to Dragonite. Not as hard a counter, but still very good. And I'm going to overcharge just a little bit. I don't want to get hit by another Dragon Claw because those damage is going to add up. And I'm able to KO. And let's see if he has a counter. He comes in with Azumarill. And basically I want to land 2 Flash Cannons. 2 Flash Cannons is not enough to KO. But I want to be able to farm down this Azumarill afterwards. So if this ends up being a Hydro Pump, so be it. Oh, ends up being player. I guess I shielded anyway. So, and I go for the Flash Cannon, hoping to put it low enough, and then I'm just gonna let it KO. Slash, if this doesn't KO, then I'm gonna be able to. So they do have the Hydro Pump. But I'm in a very good position right now. I'm able to beat this Registeel to the charge move. Since it already fired off the Flash Cannon beforehand, I would still take them a little bit of time, and I pretty much should be able to counter down this Azumarill. Toxicroak with his sky high attack stat, able to do a lot of damage even when resisted. Plus counter is a ridiculous move. It's despite all these moves being added, Volt Switch and Charm and Razor Leaf and all this stuff, right? Counter's still number one. And so obviously I get my first positive lead, and they go into Skarmory. I'm gonna go into Registeel. I could have went to Azumarill as well, but I feel a little bit more comfortable with the Azumarill Registeel matchup than the Registeel versus Registeel matchup, if it ends up in that case, which is highly unlikely. And they're going to go... And I think I overcharge. I could have... I don't know necessarily how to play this quite yet, because I still want a little bit of health, so I'm going to overcharge. I'm not going to look to... this probably wouldn't KO. They end up shielding, which I thought was interesting. And so now I'm just going to decide to farm down. I was like, okay, I'm only take one Sky Attack for a shield and a little bit of my HP lost. And I think I make a... okay, here comes the Azumarill. I'm hoping to land 2 Flash Cannons. So after, assuming I'm at 100 energy, it's going to take like 7 lock-ons to get to the Ice Beam. Maybe a little less. No, to the Flash Cannon again. 35... No, it's 6, just 6. So I switch out to Azumarill, knowing that I have a pretty decent matchup against this Registeel. And then Toxicroak can also have a decent matchup against Azumarill. Okay, so... Oh, they decide to quit out. It's fine, save them some time. I think once they realized that they didn't shield the Hydro Pump, it was going to be GG. So we're going to go into this next match. It's going to be quite the grind to get to. I'm hoping to get to rank 9 Monday, Tuesday, something like that. So again, I land another favorable lead, so it's pretty good. They go into Deoxys, and I switch out into Azumarill. A little bit slow on my switch, and I kind of debate whether I should have stayed in that matchup. They go for the Thunderbolt, and I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam. And the shield, and typically people like to go Rock Slide bait, but I'm like, okay, I kind of need this health anyways. I'm not sure if I would get countered. I probably wouldn't get countered down, to be honest. So I go for the nuke, and I land the Hydro Pump. Oh, I actually don't land the Hydro Pump, and I think this is totally okay. So I switch out into Toxicroak, and I could have farmed up a little bit more. And I go for the Sludge Bomb, and this will KO. It comes in with Toxicroak on his own. I have a little bit of energy advantage, but this is not going to KO. You need 6 counters and the Mud Bomb to KO, or roughly 6 counters. This looks like a little bit less, actually. Well, I guess I did like 4 counters on my way there. And I'm able to... Oh, they actually switch out to Umbreon. And I'm going to look to land this Sludge Bomb. And I'm going to get in a very good position right now. And the switch clock is almost up anyways. I think they go for the last resort. Though, like, Foul Play or Dark Pulse probably would KO at that range. And I'm going to switch out... Oh, and they decide to quit out. Which is fine. So I'm feeling pretty good about this team. I do run into two of these teams were really tough to deal with. Like the trainers had like pretty hard counters, and they played exceptionally well. So again, not in a great position. So I switch out into Azumarill, and they switch out into their own Azumarill. So I'm like, oh man. But their Azumarill's only 1451 CP. I actually didn't know that when I went into this battle, but. So those Hydro Pumps are actually doing quite a bit of damage. I think they go for the Play Rough. And I'm not sure that the CP... The moves still matter way more than the level of the Pokemon. But still adding up. So I'm at pretty low health right now. I'm going to look to land this Hydro Pump, and they actually shield. So I thought that was really interesting. And we end up CMP tying, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just let it go. And they actually they go for the play rough, which is fine. And I go into Toxicroak. We experienced a little bit of lag. And questionable move on my part. Should have not hit the charge move. But that's fine. I'm going to undercharge this and then going to look to counter down afterwards. Hopefully allow me to build up a little bit more energy. And then I'm going to look to switch. And I see it's a Skarmory. I can tell by the health bar. And they actually, I think this is the game-winning decision for me, was they decide to fire the Sky Attack into my Registeel as opposed to saving it for my Skarmory. And then they come in with Umbreon. They decide no shield there, which actually would have been a pretty big decision as well. And because they stayed in a little bit, I'm like looking at my clock, trying to wait it out, and then they're gonna shield. Obviously, they have to. And my clock is just about up, and I know that the clock is up, so I'm gonna be able to switch right away. And I go into Toxicroak, and then I just risk it all. Get the energy, and I'm going to look to apply as much pressure onto this Skarmory as possible. I probably should have shielded the Dark Pulse. That was going to do more, or Foul Play, whatever move it was. It was going to do more damage than anything Skarmory can hit me with, so kind of a poor decision on my part. Almost get that last Mud Bomb. So then I end up shielding the Sky Attack. Sky Attack only does 21 versus Umbreon. I think it was Foul Play. Does 26 or 29. I guess not a huge difference. Yeah, not a huge difference. And then I go for the Flash Cannon there. And able to KO. But I really should have went for the Focus Blast. So I go into this next set. And I think it was in this set. I had like 2 matches that were like insanely tough. One I didn't pull out, one I did. This one. This Lone Raichu is so annoying. It's such a good counter. And I did the counter the wrong time. I really should do, because counter takes half the amount of time as Volt Switch, I should really do it on every other increment. And but this is a losing matchup for me. I'm just looking to burn both shields or something. And I'm like, oh god. We got to the second one. I got the counter through, which is great. And then they pull off this. I don't know why I did the Mud Bomb there. Stupid of me. And I go into a Zoom Roll. And because I did the Mud Bomb, I completely forgot I did the Mud Bomb. So I don't play this out correctly. I should have exited this match with an Ice Beam. And I just immediately go for it because I'm like, oh, it's not going to KO, and as well I can bubble down. And then I realize, like, oh my gosh, are you an idiot, King? Yeah, not a great situation for me at all. And thankfully I'm able to get to the Ice Beam. And I need to apply some damage to this Alolan Raichu. So I go back into Toxicroak, hoping I can do some counters. No, they Thunder Punch me again. This Alolan Raichu is sweeping my whole team. I was like, Jesus, like, this is so bad. And I'm like, okay, I only have one play. I'm going to let them hit me with this Thunder Punch. And you just got to know when you need to farm down. And I fainted down, and then I'm waiting for it to see what comes in. It's a Zoom Roll. I'm like, oh, man, please do not have Hydro Pump. If you don't have Hydro Pump, I have a very good chance against this Zoom Roll. And then I'm like, this is a deciding situation. It's too early. It seemed too early for Hydro Pump. They play rough me. I was like, oh my gosh. Honestly, if they would have double Ice Beam me, they might have been able to get off. and they decided to quit right before the Flash Cannon came through. So that was like running to the Lone Raichu was pretty tough for that team. I'm tempted to run a team with Umbreon. Let me know down in the comment section below if you have a team that you think would be pretty effective. Also this opponent, I actually had 3 games. This game was pretty tough too. So I have to build up to the Sludge Bomb, and I let them go. And then I'm about to fire off the charge move, and they pull off this really nice switch to Haunter. And I'm like, okay, don't shield. Think it's a Sludge Bomb. And I'm like, okay, Haunter's not good for the rest of my team either. And I have a huge energy advantage. I've already burned a shield though, but I can definitely shield this one and then be able to KO the Haunter. So basically trade both shields. This Azumarill has probably like a little bit of residual energy, and then my Toxicroak has a little bit of health left. And then I make a stupid decision here. I thought it was going to get bubbled down. I really could have got to the Sludge Bomb, and then this would have like ended up in a dominating situation, because if I can I only got one more counter off, so maybe I couldn't have. And I switch out into Registeel, and I'm like, if this is a Hydro Pump, so be it. And then they just play rough me, which is a really good situation for me. So I decide to Focus Blast. And what did I do? I tried to switch out into Azumarill to catch the Focus Blast, but to no avail. And I have a little bit of health. I probably could have got off a Flash Cannon, but it's totally fine. And I basically want to exit this match. This Azumarill's almost KO'd, so I basically just need to exit this match with a little bit of energy. This Ice Beam is not going to KO. It's going to put it pretty low, and then I should be able to put it in the perfect farm range to avoid another charge move. And I think they have a Play Rough ready. Yeah. So if I would get that Flash Cannon hit me, it would have been pretty bad. Definitely would not have survived. And then here comes the Hydro Pump, so I'm able to take this match. So that Haunter switch in was pretty tricky as well. Actually did this in KO. Had to bubble down. And we go into the next match. One of these was, oh man, it was a very good team. It was a very interesting team. I might even try it. So end up in a positive lead. And we CMP tie to the charge move. I decide to shield. I think they decide to shield as well. And they switch out into Venusaur, and I switch out to Registeel. They have a little bit of energy advantage. These frenzy plants will add up over time. They do about 25 to 30%. So it's not like I can take them too lightly. And as you can see, they got to another one pretty quickly. And I think what do I do? So I decide to tank this, which would put me really low. And then I kind of just blind fire, mostly because if it's a Wish Cash or a counter user, I would only be able to get one off anyways. They decide to no shield that Focus Blast. Still does an okay chunk. I go to Azumarill because obviously I like my matchup against Registeel with Toxicroak. And they decide to go Hydro Pump. And I'm going to Hydro Pump this Azumarill back. Why not? And put it pretty low, and they switch out. And I go for the Mud Bomb. If they shield, then I'll shield, and then I'll just I will just Sludge Bomb their Azumarill. Alright, Sludge Bomb will KO this Azumarill. Does a lot of damage. Stab, plus the high attack from Toxicroak. able to take out the Azumarill. And we go into this next match. I can't remember, is like this match or the next one I lose. I think it's this one. The name sounds familiar. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, this match was. I should have switched to Registeel. Maybe, I don't know. They go into Azumarill. And I believe they also have Hydro Pump. Can't remember. Or they Ice Beam me. I think they have, they have Hydro Pump. And go for the Hydro Pump. So we're just Hydro Pumping each other right now. And they actually shield. I was like, okay, maybe I can play that to my advantage. So I did no shield. And then they Ice Beam me. I'm not sure that's part of their mind games, like, monkey see, monkey do type of thing. And I go for the Hydro Pump. This is not going to KO, but going to put them, like, pretty low. And I lose the CMP rate. I had no idea how this happened. How they're able to get to... Oh, man, that Ice Beam would have been really nice. But that's quite all right. And then I think I make a mistake. Is this one? No, I'm able to counter down. And I switch out into Registeel, and they switch out into Alolan Marowak. Double Ghost lineup. Yeah, not great. I probably, I don't know. I'm not really sure how I could have played this one out any differently. I decided no shield the Bone Club. And I go for the Focus Blast. And, I need to be able to... This Alolan Marowak has too much energy. And I need to be able to counter down. I'm fine with burning one shield. But this was the killer part. They forced me to burn a second shield. I was like, they just barely survived. Because I needed that shield. And then if I got that shield, then I potentially could have won with such a massive energy advantage. As you can see, it takes about it takes the same number. No, it's a little bit less for Sableye. They go for the Power Gem. Yeah, it would have been close. It would have been close if I would have been able to counter down. But they had a really nice team comp. The Double Ghost team comp was like really hard for me to deal with. Like, unless I stay in, maybe if I stay in Toxicroak, that can't be a good matchup at all. Staying in. Well, at least in the Zero Shield, it's okay. So I actually probably should just double Mud Bomb and then let them KO me, but they probably just Shadow Claw me down. Yeah, they definitely don't. Yeah. So I shield the Hydro Pump, which is great. And there goes the Flash Cannon. Now they have to go for Hydro Pump again. And here comes the Flash Cannon. And this Azumarill is going to be pretty low. And I just barely get off with like very minimal HP left on my Registeel. And I'm like, please don't shield. And so then I come back in with Azumarill. And I think it's pretty much over because they have Registeel in the back. And I switch out, and I'm going to be able to tank this Flash Cannon just barely. And I go for the Mud Bomb. It would have been interesting if they no-shielded that and they tried to lock on me down. That's fine. It's certainly a play because this is not. There's no play here. Like I'm gonna be able to tank another sky attack, and there's nothing really much that they can do. I think the lock shielding and then try and lock on down, and then flash cannon, burn the shield, or maybe I'll let the flash cannon go through. I don't know, like, or maybe I fire off the charge move. But anyways, I think this is a really effective team. I really like it. It does struggle against Alolan Raichu, struggles against, basically Pokemon that are good against all three of them, or do a decent job. The double ghost strategy was pretty tough to deal with, but I didn't actually face too many. Like if there was a lantern, then maybe it would be a little bit tough. But I really like this team. I can see why HouseStark, along with his skill set, was doing extremely well with this team. So anyways, I'm going to leave there. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.